What's good, YouTube? Penguin321 here. Long time no see. It's been a hot minute since I've made any content, unfortunately. You know, with a lot of what we've been dealing with in these last couple years with COVID and whatnot, a lot of places have been shut down. I've been playing like Duel Links, and I've played Master Duel here recently, but otherwise, like, I haven't had a whole lot of other places to play, and I haven't had a whole lot of real interest in Mastered format anyways, you know, the normal advanced kind of format. Specifically last November, Konami did do a thing where they created some alternative formats, which a lot of us know about if you're into like the old Edison 2010 format, if you're into the infamous 2005 GOAT format. Well, every Thursday my local has started doing these Time Wizard tournaments, and that's kind of gotten me back into it, and they're allowing people back in the store, and everything isn't just remote duel. I'm not a big fan of the remote scene just because it's just a lot of setup for not, you know, like, I like to go sit down and play cards, you know, kind of old-fashioned like that. But to start things off with, a couple weeks ago I did win our 2005 GOAT format Time Wizard tournament with GOAT Control, and I thought I would share that deck as just kind of an introductory thing of getting back into it. I do want to try to get some more videos going, see if some friends want to do some things. Maybe if we could do like feature matches at my locals, I think that would be sick, just to get some content going and just kind of get things hyped up. I think that would be awesome. If there's any specific decks from any specific format you would be into seeing, let me know, you know, whether it's E-Dragon format, 2010 Edison, 2005 GOAT, if you're looking to see any of the Reasoning, Monster Gate stuff that goes on there. Just let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments. I would love to put things together. I'd love to get duel videos. I would love to get even just card analysis things up. Just kind of, you know, just shoot me ideas of what to make content about. I would love to hear from you. But without further ado, let's kind of get started on the deck. So to start things off, you got your 1 BLS, Broken. Your Chaos Monster just gets that out. I don't run the Chaos Sorcerer. I just run the 1 BLS. I haven't found it necessary. I'm not doing the full Chaos Control, but BLS is just too good not to run. 1 Sinister Serpent, because the card's broken. Old Vindictive, there was a while where I was running the Apprentice Magician to kind of go into this, or into Magician of Faith. Testing at locals, it's been kind of inconsistent, where if you see the OVM first and then you see Apprentice later, it just kind of, it gets you the Magician of Faith. But it's not a whole, I don't know, it wasn't as worthwhile, so I took the Apprentice out, but I like the Old Vindictive for the destruction effect, because it just makes it a better top deck later. You know, you can just set it, they won't see it coming, it can pop, starting off right away, it just gives you a good destruction effect. I just like the Old Vindictive. Tribe Infecting, because it's broken, you have priority in GOAT format, so you can summon him, priority with effect if they don't like Solemn Judgment or something. If they don't negate the summon, you have priority to just destroy a lot of things. So, Tribe Infecting. DD Warrior Lady, similar thing. You can set it, forget it. You can summon it, poke into their monster just to get a threat off the field. It's also 1500. It's just good. Asura Priest gets rid of your goats, can attack all monsters once each, 1700 4-star, just good. It's also a light attribute, so it gets BLS on the field if he goes into the grave, which is nice. Breaker, just inherently good dark monster, 1900 monster when summoned because of his counter. He can also destroy back row. Broken, Sengen gets you a monster when it dies. Tsukiyomi, too many combos that you can do with Tsukiyomi. It can flip the Old Vindictive face down. It can flip your own Magician of Faith face down. It can flip their stuff face down. You set it face down. They attack with the monster. It can flip their thing face down, so you can attack over next turn. It can get rid of Jinzos. It can shut your Jinzo off. If, let's say, you have a trap you want to activate, like Call of the Haunted, you can coincidentally summon Tsukiyomi, flip your Jinzo, play Call of the Haunted, immediately flip your Jinzo because it hasn't changed that turn. It's a combo player. Tsukiyomi's broken. Jinzo, pretty self-explanatory, negates traps, 2400 beat, broken. Zaborg, this was something I was not playing originally that I've kind of been really liking going into it, just because it's a free destruction effect. It's 2400 attack, 1 tribute. It's also a light monster, which means it's just more fodder to, if you see the BLS, it's just better odds of having a light in the yard, which is nice. Air Knight Parshath, kind of the same thing. 1 tribute, it's unfortunately only 1900 attack, but it's broken because it gives you draw and it does piercing. So if your opponent if you're doing like the Goat Mirror, or you're playing, you know, against like zombies or something, you can get their face downs to 0 defense, or it just pierces damage and then gives you draw power every time it does damage. So broken. 2 Magician of Faiths. As long as you're not playing against a Gravekeeper deck or something that's playing Necro Valley, you're teching Necro Valley in, you're pretty much set. Brings back any of your spells like the Trinity, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, any of your good stuff. Gravekeeper Spies, I do not run the guard. I haven't found the guard necessary. Specifically at my locals, there's quite a bit of Gravekeeper players that have been playing there. So it's kind of decent if you're going up against a Gravekeeper matchup and they have Necro Valley out. It's kind of cute because then it gets bumped up to 17 itself, or 25 defense. So then they attack your face down thinking they're attacking like a Magician of Faith or something cute, and they attack it, you get a spy, but they're also taking extra damage because it's at 2500 defense on the Necro Valley, which is cute. Sucks when it gets Nobleman, but even then it's not terrible because it's, you know, 3 out of the deck if you have more spies. Yeah, so spy, just because it's good. Spells, specifically, I'm actually choosing only to run the one Scapegoat. This is one thing that kind of changes up with how it's been going at locals, which is how the locals has been. I was running double Metamorphosis, double Scapegoat. I decided to change that up recently with a card I'll show you later. We got the one Scapegoat in the deck. Preemie, Book of Moon, Snatch Steal, the one meta in the deck because you gotta get your Thousand Eyes, Ryu Senshi, whatever you want to bring out at the time. Delinquent Duo because it's broken, Heavy Storm because it's broken. Get your staples, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, double Nobleman across out. So those are, I mean, those are pretty standard as far as the format goes. Main board, I've seen this in people's sideboards quite a bit, but I've really been enjoying it with siding it in most matches that I've had. I'm doing the double Wave Motion Cannon. This is what I took the Metamorphosis and the Scapegoat out for. So far it's been working pretty well. A lot of the times I've been siding one of each of these out for him anyways. I just kind of like it because like with how the format is, you only have, I mean, you have 3 Trunades, but you only have like 1 MST, 1 Heavy Storm, Cold Wave if you're running the Cold Wave. But it's just, I've found a lot of the time that they can't really just get rid of this right away. I mean, if there's Breaker, if they're running Breaker, but if turn 1, you can open Wave Motion Cannon a lot of the time. Your other traps aren't getting hit with MST. Your other, I mean, unless they specifically see the 1 out of 40 Heavy Storm, they're not getting rid of it. And there's been a lot of the times where it's like, we'll be grinding games, going back and forth, like versus Gravekeepers or versus a zombie player, where this is getting up to 5 or 6 counters and they haven't, you know, they're forced to Trunade it, or they're forced to do, you know, if they can even get rid of it. Or you can potentially just pop for 6,000 damage and then it's basically just over because you've been pinging damage here and there anyways. And it's just been working out. I mean, anytime I've been liking it. We don't have any of the like reasoning decks that are going. We don't have Warriors. I don't know what the interaction there would be or how quick they are comparatively. But for what I have at locals and what I've been playing against, they've been working out pretty well and I've been loving them. Traps, Ring of Destruction, Torrential, Mirror Force, Call of the Haunted, pre-staple, pre-standard. Torrential, it's kind of like a trap hole in the format in the sense of that it's just getting rid of their monsters. If you're in a losing situation, they get themselves +1 on your field. Torrential the whole thing. Ring Destruction, it just pushes damage. Specifically, Ring Destruction, it's almost better because if it's another reason that I kind of like the Wave Motion Cannons, because the Ring of Destruction, I've been debating adding a Magic Cylinder and doing a little more burn to the main, specifically since I'm maining the Wave Motions. I think that would be an interesting thing to try out. But because Ring of Destruction, they summon a monster, you pop it to inflict both damage to you. If you have it where like you Brain Control or you do something to take their monster, they creature swap you, or you get advantage and you do damage to them, and then you pop your monster with Ring of Destruction, and then Wave Motion's already gaining counters. A lot of the times you can just take the win right there, which is cool. It's a cute interaction with Ring of Destruction, Wave Motion. So those got double Wing Blast. I haven't really tried Raigeki Break a whole lot. I don't know if Raigeki Break's necessary, really. I mean, it doesn't change a whole lot. I like the idea of spinning it back to the top of their deck, which is nicer than Raigeki Break, whereas Raigeki Break puts something in the yard. If I'm destroying a back row, sure, Raigeki Break versus Phoenix Wing, if I destroyed a back row, it just gets rid of it, whereas this puts it to the top, they can use it later. But at the same time, it's like I like that I'm reversing their next draw. So like, let's say, again, it's not specifically the reason, but as an added thing to Wave Motion Cannon, I like that, let's say they're trying to dig heavy, trying to dig into MST to get this off the field. If I Phoenix Wing their dead back row or their dead monster on the field or just something, it spins something back and saves another counter to put onto Wave Motion in a way, which is nice. Double Sakuretsu Armor, because Sakuretsu's good. It just kind of pushes off things as long as they don't specifically have Jinzo, or they haven't, they haven't seen heavy to get rid of. There's not a whole lot of back row, like I mentioned. They could Trunate it, but it's just a good 1-for-1 trap card. And then I've been seeing a lot of this recently and a lot of other people's GOAT format stuff, but Triple Solemn Judgment, really versatile. Just, it's a lot of life points to pay, but especially if you see more than one, I mean, you're really pushing advantage just by having the Solemn Judgments. I've really been liking them. A lot of the time, and especially like with wave motion, or if you have like a bunch of back row anyway, they do see the one heavy, Solemn Judgment stops it. They see the torrential, they see, some kind of power play, they summon Blackluster Soldier, they summon any other power card. It just gets rid of any immediate threat, and running it as a 3-of package is just kind of nuts, in my opinion. So that's the main board. Extra decks, not completely finished. I could probably have more, but I mean, again, if I'm only doing one Metamorphosis anyway, it's not going to change a whole lot. But I do have 3 Thousand Eyes Strict, because you run the Scapegoat and it comes up. Flame Ghost, Dragonis the Wicked, Darkfire Dragon. Doesn't come up a whole lot, but they're there as options. Reaper on the Nightmare, just because he can kind of ping damage and he's cute. Dark Bolter, because he's nice. Fiend Skull, because he's nice. Ojama King has not come up, but he's adorable, because you could take Zaborg or Air Knight as level 6s, Metamorphosis them to defense, and then steal 3 of their zones. I was kind of thinking it as a cute thing with side deck if I were to side Ojama Trios, because Ojama Trios are also legal in the format. I'm not doing it, but I was kind of thinking about it, and that would be cute to just kind of clog their field as an adorable thing, but that's why it's in the extra deck. It's not something I ever went to. I'm running Rabid Horseman. I've never summoned this, but it's cute and it's in the extra deck. Ryu Senchi's because he's nuts. Dark Flare Knight. Last Warrior. I don't have anything in my deck that I could really use for it. But if, let's say, they creature swap something to me and I happen to have meta in my hand, this card's broken, so why not run it if it's in the format? And we'll go with side deck as far as what I'm siding. I'm siding 2 Karibos for like warrior decks or anything that's just pushing like hella damage. Ceasefire for just extra burn. For FTK specifically, I'm going triple Nico Main King, which when this is sent from your hand to the graveyard, if they card destruction, or if even, if you're playing against Empty Jar and they Morphing Jar you, sends it to the yard, ends their turn immediately, which is just a cute interaction, because why wouldn't you? That way they can't continue. It gives you a turn. It forces you to not sit there for 20 minutes waiting for them to end their turn. Kaiku, more for the Chaos decks, just keeps them from banishing stuff in their yard. It's an 1800 beater. It lets you control what's in their yard. Another Book of Moon, just for if you're going first, if I side this in, I could have an extra set, just kind of defend myself. I've been testing with this because of how many Gravekeepers there are at my locals. Double Royal Command. What this does, it negates all flip effect monsters on the field. So, I mean, yes, it'll negate my Gravekeeper Spy, it can negate my Magician of Faith, but specifically against Gravekeeper decks anyway, I would rather take a shot at negating my effects if it means they can't guard, they can't spy, they can't just continually go off anyways. So I've been siding these in just to kind of hold them back. And at that point, if they can't activate their flip effects anyway, they're probably not going to get very far as it is, because I'm running DD Warrior Lady, I'm running Tribe, I'm running things that are just bigger than their monsters inherently, unless they have like Assailant at 2k, but even then I have traps that can take care of that. As long as I can keep Spy off the field, I can keep their stuff from just pushing a lot of damage. It's nice if they can't get momentum going. The third wave motion cannon, and I know you guys are probably looking at the main board wondering where this was, but Mystical Space Typhoon. I know I've said that there's Gravekeeper decks at my locals, but I haven't trying to, and this might end up getting back into my main, but at this moment it's just not in my main board. I just haven't, as a it's one of those where it's like, it's nice in the main, but I also have Heavy Storm. So, it's just one of those things where you can pick and choose, and after, you go into game 2, game 3, when you're sideboarding, I can put it in if I need it. And most of the time, if I'm playing against Gravekeepers, or I'm playing against something that's like, if I'm going first, going against a heavy spell and trap deck, I can just throw in the Dust Tornadoes, throw in the MST, and then I've got the heavy plus the 3. I just think the numbers work out better that way, in my opinion. I don't think the MSTs needed game 1 as much. It's not specifically, there's a lot of decks that I could play, if I play anything that isn't specifically Gravekeepers, or isn't specifically, as far as how my locals is set up, I think it's best to have this in the side as far as how my locals is. So that is the side, that is the extra. It is a 41 card main deck. So yeah, tell me what you guys would like to see for any future content. Tell me what you guys think of the deck. Tell me what you guys think of Time Wizard format and how, if you guys have been playing it, if you guys have been playing Edison format or whatever is going on at your own locals. Thumbs up the video, hit that subscribe, expect some more content from me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.